Welcome.
Good morning.
Welcome to all these precious people. I love you. I love you. It's so tickled to have y'all in service this morning.
With the Jolly Green
Did you
Giant.
come ready to worship? Please stand. Over the mountains and the sea, your river runs with love for me, and I will open up my heart and let the healer set me free. I'm happy to be in the truth, and I will daily lift my hands, for I will always sing of when your love came down. I could sing of your love forever. 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 Over the mountains and the sea, your river runs with love for me, and I will open up my heart and let the healer set me free. I'm happy to be in the truth, and I will daily lift my hands, for I will always sing of when your love came down. I could sing of your love forever. 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 And oh, I feel like dancing. It's foolishness, I know, but when the world has seen the light, they will dance with joy like we're dancing now. I could sing of your love forever. 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 Amen. Let's go to the Lord in prayer. Precious Lord, we do so thank you for meeting us here in this place today. And I thank you for each and every one that's out there that has come. I hope that you've prepared their hearts to hear the word that you placed on Jacob's. And I pray that you will anoint his words, Lord. And we pray that the worship here is pleasing to you today. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Good morning, everybody. I know I'm not Nate because I'm not redheaded and tall, but I'm Jakeb, and I had offered Nate this week to preach for him. First service, second, whatever he needed, knowing that his family was going through a hard time. So I wanted to offer to preach for him. I felt like God was telling me to, and he said I could preach first service for him. So here to preach today. This week starts our first sermon series for the month, which is Christmas feels, which is all the feels of Christmas, the holidays, and all the different feelings, the hurt, whatever it may be, and how to handle them the godly way. We'll be talking about a feeling each week. And this week is envy, jealousy. I got the technical definition right here. It is a feeling or resentful longing aroused by someone else's possessions, quality, or luck. Jealousy is not just a feel during the holidays. It's a feeling you can have 365 days of the year. You can feel jealous at any point. It's not just the holidays or Christmas. And that's why I was excited to preach about it. I'm like, you can feel it any time. It's not just the Christmas time or holidays. We'll be looking at Luke chapter 15 today, talking about the prodigal son and how he had left and went and did things he shouldn't have done, and then ended up coming back to his dad, and how the brother was jealous and stuff. So we'll take a look at Luke chapter 15, 24 through 32. I'll read it. My son was dead, but now he is alive again. He was lost, but now he is found. So they began to celebrate. The older son was in the field, and as he came closer to the house, he heard the sound of music and dancing. The servant said, "Your brother has come back, and your father killed the fat calf because your brother came home safely." The older son was angry and would not go into the feast. So this father went out and begged him to come in. But the older son said to his father, "I have served you like a slave for many years and have always obeyed your commands. But you never gave me even a young goat to have at a feast with my friends. But your other son, who wasted all your money on prostitutes, comes home and you kill the fat calf for him." Well, envy, we're going to talk about the brother's feelings, how he was jealous that his brother had got celebrated. He had came back, and how he was jealous he didn't get celebrated for sticking around and obeying his father. He had done the right thing, he had stuck around and obeyed, so he was super jealous that his brother comes home and they have a feast and they celebrate him after he had went out and done the wrong thing. He let his jealousy get in the way of seeing the bigger picture. His brother had came home and his life was changed. And he was so focused on himself and what he didn't have instead of what his brother had gained and learned from this. And it really stuck out to me because we find ourselves thinking, it used to be all the time for me. In high school, it was a tough time for me that, wow, they have something I don't have. And the brother was just so focused on what he didn't get instead of celebrating his brother. And jealousy gets in the way of a lot of things, and one is celebrating other people. And that's huge. Like I said, high school, even in my marriage, at the beginning, me and my wife were looking to buy a house, and we couldn't buy a house yet, so we started renting. And I see other people my age, newly married, and they had bought a house already. And I felt my jealousy, and the devil had used that to tell me, made me feel like I'd failed my wife because I couldn't buy a house like everybody else had bought. But it was the devil trying to tell me that, using my jealousy to get at me and to make me feel that way. And it wasn't how it truly is. And through talking to my wife, she held me accountable and helped me with that. But envy just gets in the way of a lot. It holds you back. And Christmas time is very, because it's the time of giving. It's where people receive gifts. Well, in a family where my family's huge, we don't really do gifts that much. This year is the first year we're doing Secret Santa. Woo. Everybody's going to get gifts this year. But we would pick and choose who we would give gifts to. Like I would take my 3 sisters and not give my older sisters anything because I was closer to the 3 sisters. Well, you can only imagine how they would feel, me doing that. What I'm saying now, my older sister. So she's probably like, "Why did Jamie get a gift, but I didn't?" Or, she's not like that. She doesn't think that. She's cool. But, maybe she did. Maybe deep down inside she was hurt. And it's just crazy to think that Christmas is the time where envy is highest because people are receiving gifts. And you're thinking, I've seen people get a new car for Christmas. In high school, parents would go out and buy their kid a car for Christmas. And see, my family, we didn't come from money or anything. My mom worked hard, basically raised us kids as a single mom, and she had 9 kids. So for her to give us all a first car would have been crazy. You have to have some money to buy 9 cars for your kids. And it was tough in high school looking and seeing, wow, he got a car for Christmas, and I did. And I would always say, "Mommy and Daddy's money," very envious. And I let it get in the way of a lot. And that was one of the things holding me back, and it will hold you back. And I got a couple verses that I want to share with y'all. But like I said, the main thing to get from Luke chapter 15, 24 through 32 is the brother was focused on envy and jealousy instead of seeing that his brother was changed, seeing that his brother came home instead of being excited to hug his brother. He was jealous. And I think now in my life to a situation recently of where my sister wasn't coming to church for a little while, and now she's back today. For me to have said, "Why are you back? Why why are you here, Jackie? I wanted to be the only Perry at this church. I wanted to be the only person close to them. You know what I'm saying? There's so many ways I could have handled it, because Jackie's what brought me to church. For me to have took the situation and been like, oh, nah, Jackie, church is good without you. You know, or any way, instead of hugging her and celebrating her, that she's here. And she's hearing the word. And she's praising God. Would have been crazy. And that's what I think of right there with the brother. Prodigal son is like, man, you should have gave your brother a hug. You should have been excited. But when he had all that hurt and pain and jealousy, it blocked the way it was supposed to be. And it gets in the way of your life. And it'll put you in a cloud, put you in a fog. It will beat you up if all you're thinking about is yourself. And that's not what it's about. And Christ showed that when he died for us on the cross, is it's not about us. And I got a couple other verses, like I said, that I wanted to share. Envy is something we all experience, have all experienced, like I said. I got Ecclesiastes 4:4 says, I realize the reason people work hard and try to succeed. They are jealous of each other. This too is useless, like chasing the wind. It's pointless to be jealous, and it's not helping us get what we want. Me being jealous isn't going to help me get that new car. I realized that the hard way. I'm like, man, it'd be so cool if my mom would buy me a new car. And I gave my mom a lot of grief through my jealousy, because I was mad at my mom. I wasn't getting what I wanted. And that affected our relationship, the envy and everything. And it blows my mind to see it all in perspective, you know, but it got in the way of our relationship. And it was pointless. It didn't give me the new car that I wanted. I had to work hard. My mom did. Out of all the kids, it was crazy. My mom ended up giving me her expedition because I was working a lot. And I had to take me and my sister back to school, and we were all going through a hard time in the family. It was best if me and Jackie had a car. Well, my mom did give me a car, so I guess I am kind of the only kid. Maybe my older brother Josh, you know, they tease us about being the favorites. But my mom ended up giving me an expedition, so it all worked out. But before that, it had gotten in the way of a lot. And it was pointless. It didn't give me what I wanted. Proverbs 4:23 says, be careful what you think, because your thoughts run your life. Yeah. So true. If we, like I said, I let it affect relationships. I let it affect my life. If I'm thinking jealous all the time of what I don't have, I'm never going to be happy. And I'm never going to be content. And the devil tries to use those to run our lives. Instead of being emotion-led, or let our thoughts lead us, we need to be spirit-led. We don't need to let our emotions and our thoughts and our jealousy lead us. We need to let the Spirit lead us. We need to turn to God in these times of upsetness or uncontentment. If that's a word, I don't know. Is that a word? Contentment. I just threw "on" in there just to make it all fit. But I didn't look that word up, so. Yeah. But the conclusion is the godly way to handle the feels of envy. When we feel envious, we need to acknowledge it. When you're feeling jealous, you need to acknowledge it. You don't need to keep running with it. Like I would in high school. I kept it going. All my friends started doing it. Oh, mom and daddy's money. You know, like we're working jobs and you're out here getting this. And I'm not getting this. So I started to do that. And my friends had picked it up, but I wasn't in a place to acknowledge it. And that's where you got to be at. You got to acknowledge it, and you got to understand where you're doing wrong and where envy is wrong. Step two is to apologize to God. This week, doing this sermon prep, it really hit me. Like, man, you knew you had envy when you were in high school. You know you struggled with it a little bit here and there. I was like, man, I need to apologize to God for how I was in high school. Because it never did. I didn't acknowledge it. I just went with it. I didn't really process where I was wrong. And through this sermon, I had the time to process and apologize to God. And it was a beautiful thing. It felt weird because, back in high school before I was saved, I thought this was okay. I thought it was just a normal thing. And now that I'm saved, through the Spirit and everything else, I see that it's wrong. And through the Bible, I see that it's wrong. So I had time to apologize to God for back in the day. And it was awesome. 3, we need to celebrate others' success. Like I said, I'm celebrating my sisters here in church today. I really am. Through this whole week, I've been celebrating. Oh, I hope she comes. She said she's coming. Gosh, she showed up. So I'm celebrating that. Celebrate for people when they get those new cars and you don't have those new cars.
Amen.
Even though it's tough, you still got to be happy for others. And that's what we're called to do. And I just really want us to focus on celebrating others. I can't put enough emphasis on that. I got to work on that in my life too, like to be happy for those other young couples that have bought a house instead of rent a house. I have to be happy for them. And you know what? I commented on their Facebook post. Congratulations, I'm happy for you. Yeah, at first it was kind of tough to do that, but I had set it all aside to celebrate with them because I was happy for them. I have a quote to share. Christmas is a tonic for our souls. It moves us to think of others rather than ourselves. It directs our thoughts to giving. B.C. Forbes said that he was a financial journalist and founder of Forbes magazine. So it's basically saying we're more focused on giving than receiving in the month of December. Sometimes it can be backwards though. Sometimes I love getting gifts, you know. Getting gifts is awesome. But we also give in the month of December. And I want us to live with that attitude all 12 months of the year. I want us to live with that attitude 365, 24/7. And I want us to live with the attitude, I'd rather give more and serve more than what I receive. And I want y'all to really take the month to focus on giving as opposed to receiving. But in all honesty, I want y'all to take 365, 24/7 and to focus on giving more than receiving. That's what it's all about. So don't let your envious ways get in the way of celebrating others, because that other person could be looking to you to celebrate with them. They might need you to celebrate with them. You don't know, no matter if they got a new car or not, they could be going through something in their life that's super hard. And that celebration, that connect with them, can help them. So focus on celebrating others and giving more than you receive. Giving more than you receive can be very tiring and exhausting, but it's all worth it. And God has showed me that over and over again. So I encourage y'all to do that. I'm going to say a prayer, and then Terry can come on up. Or you can come on up now, either way. Dear Heavenly Father, I just pray to you. I thank you so much for everything. How awesome of a God you are. I thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to preach. This is my second time preaching, and every time I preach, I'm overwhelmed with how far you have brought me, and how far you've grown me and shaped me, and how much you've used me. And I just thank you for that. I thank you for everyone in the crowd. I thank you so much for bringing them all here this morning to hear the word. I just ask that you would allow this word to stick with them, and that this would help them. That when they think envious thoughts now, they remember this sermon. They remember the ways to handle it, to apologize to you, to celebrate others, God, because that's what it's all about. There's going to be times where it's hard, but help them to think back to this sermon. Help them to take this to people that need to hear it, God. If they know somebody who's very envious or says, Mommy and Daddy's money, help them to take this to them and use it to help them. I just ask that you would be with everybody and continue to bless on them and love on them. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Come ye to bed. Mitch, will you lead us in our offertory prayer?
Father, we love you and we appreciate you because you've done so much for us. Now, as you receive these gifts and these tithes, we ask you to use it to advance your kingdom. Let this congregation grow. In Jesus' name, amen.
I don't know about you, but I'm impressed with how Jakeb has progressed, and the delivery of his message just touched my heart today. I don't know about y'all, but and I love you, Jackie. I'm so tickled that you're
I
here.
love you, Miss Mary.
I love you, Jackie.
I love you too, Miss Mary.
We're going to dismiss right now before I make a total fool up here. I love you guys.